Welcome back for another deep dive. This time, we're looking into Bach flower remedies.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of this world where emotions and wellness, they just kind of come together.
Yeah.
So, you might know about aromatherapy,
hmm
but this is a little different. We're talking about 38 remedies, and they were all created by this guy, Dr. Edward Bach.
Okay.
Each one targets a specific negative feeling to kind of like help you become more balanced.
That's fascinating. It's really part of this whole holistic health movement.
Right.
We're finally realizing that, treating a runny nose isn't the whole picture,
Yeah. Right. It's not just treating the
It
symptom.
impacts the whole mind and body.
Yeah, it's like finally like listening in on the conversation between the two. And
Yeah.
speaking of conversations, Dr. Bach's journey is actually pretty amazing.
Right.
So he was a successful physician and immunologist,
Wow.
but he realized that just treating those physical symptoms, it wasn't really enough.
Hmm. I can imagine being a doctor back then with all the advancements going on and then
Ah.
choosing to shift your focus to flowers.
Yeah,
It's a big leap.
it's a big leap. It
Right.
makes you wonder, like, what was that aha moment for him?
Yeah.
What made him dedicate his whole life to these, like, gentler healing methods?
So Dr. Bach, he noticed that people with similar personalities,
Okay,
they often experience similar illnesses.
interesting.
And they also responded to treatments in very unique ways.
Ah,
So he realized that personality played a huge role in sickness and health.
wow.
That's a pretty radical idea for the early 1900s.
Yeah, it really makes you think about how much our emotions impact us.
Oh, absolutely.
So how do these remedies actually work? Do
Yeah.
they just like suppress negative feelings?
Not at all. It's not about ignoring your emotions, but it's about understanding them and gently kind of guiding them towards a more positive state.
Okay.
You could think of it like gardening.
Okay.
So you're not pulling out the weeds, but you're nurturing the soil.
Ye-
And then you're creating conditions where the flowers can flourish.
Oh, so you're actually transforming those negative emotions into something good.
Exactly.
But is it safe for everyone? Some people might be skeptical.
They're so safe and gentle, even for babies and animals.
Wow.
The placebo effect is always a question.
Right.
But there's evidence that these remedies work even for skeptics.
So you're saying they can work even if you don't believe?
Think about it this way. Even conventional medicine
Yeah.
acknowledges that connection between your mind and your body.
Right.
Your mental state can really affect your physical health.
Absolutely.
And Bach flower remedies work with that connection.
Okay, so Dr. Bach put all the remedies into 7 emotional groups.
He did.
There's fear, uncertainty, lack of interest, loneliness, oversensitivity, despair, and overcare.
Wow, that's the whole spectrum.
It's like he covered all of human emotion.
He created a system that addresses everything about the human experience.
Wow.
And in each of those groups are remedies for all those really nuanced emotional states.
Okay, so let's start with fear.
Sure,
I know there are a few remedies for that, right?
there are.
Why is it important to understand like what kind of fear you're dealing with?
Well, you could experience fear in a lot of different ways.
Right.
You could have a specific fear like being afraid of spiders.
Yeah.
That would call for mimulus.
Okay.
But if you have this general sense of dread, like a dark clouds hanging over you,
Mhm.
that might mean you need aspen.
Oh. So choosing the right remedy depends on the specific kind of fear.
Exactly. Understanding those little differences within each emotion.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So tell me more about Mimulus.
Okay.
What does it actually do?
Mimulus helps you face your fears.
Oh.
It gives you courage. Instead of freezing up before you know at a presentation,
Yeah.
you might find yourself feeling calm and collected,
Oh, wow.
ready to take on the challenge.
So it's not about getting rid of the fear altogether.
No,
It's about transforming it.
exactly.
Okay. That's amazing. What about people who just can't seem to make up their minds?
We have a remedy for that.
Okay. What is that?
It's called Serato.
Okay.
And it's for those people who always doubt themselves,
Yeah.
even when they deep down know what's right.
Mhm.
They're always asking for advice.
Yeah. Always second guessing.
Yes. Instead of just trusting their own gut.
So when they take Serato, what happens?
Well, they start to trust their gut more.
Okay.
That inner compass starts working again. And they might find themselves making decisions more confidently, without always needing someone else's opinion.
That's great. Yeah.
And then there's sclerantus.
Okay.
This one's for people who are constantly swinging between extremes.
Okay.
Like a pendulum, happy 1 minute down the next.
Oh, I see.
It's all about finding balance.
Yeah. So it helps them find that middle ground
Exactly.
where they're not being like tossed around by their emotions.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we get into the lack of interest group.
Okay.
You know, those people who are always daydreaming.
Oh, yeah. Their heads are always in the clouds.
Right. Totally disconnected.
Yeah.
That's where clematis comes in.
So it helps them be more present?
Yes.
Ugh.
More grounded, more engaged with what's happening around them.
I can see how that would be helpful.
And, you know, it can also boost creativity.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it brings those daydreams down to earth so
but-
they can turn into actual actions.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, what about the people who are stuck in the past?
Right. You mentioned honeysuckle for that.
Yeah.
Honeysuckle helps people let go of those old attachments and move forward.
Okay.
You don't forget the past, you learn from it,
Yeah.
but then you got to embrace the present moment.
It's like closing a chapter and starting a new one.
Exactly. Okay, so then we have loneliness.
Okay.
There's heather for people who always want attention,
Okay.
but they never really seem to connect with anyone.
Yeah, they'll talk your ear off.
Exactly. But they don't really listen.
It's like they're talking at you, not with you.
Yeah. And heather can help them become better listeners,
Okay.
more present in conversations, and they can actually form deeper bonds with people.
So they finally feel heard.
Exactly. What about those people who isolate themselves?
Yeah. Even though they secretly crave connection.
You mentioned water violet for that.
Mm-hmm.
Water violet is for the people who seem aloof or proud,
Okay.
but they actually feel really lonely inside.
I see.
They build up these walls around themselves, maybe because they're afraid of being vulnerable.
So water violet helps them let people in.
Exactly. It helps them soften up, become more approachable, and really experience the joy of true connection.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about oversensitivity.
Okay.
That can show up in so many ways.
It can.
What are some of the remedies for that?
Well, we have walnut,
Okay.
which is super helpful for times of change and transition.
Okay.
You know those times when you just feel overwhelmed by everything around you?
Like starting a new job or moving.
Exactly. Or
Yeah.
going through a breakup. Those are all times when you might feel extra sensitive.
Right.
And walnut, it's like a protective shield.
Oh, okay.
It helps you stay grounded and true to yourself.
Even when everything's changing around you,
Exactly.
so you can handle those tough transitions.
Yes. Now, another remedy in this group is agrimony.
Okay.
And this is for people who hide their worries behind a smile.
Oh, wow. So they're like the life of the party, but inside they're struggling.
Exactly. And it's not that they're being fake.
Right.
They're just trying to cope.
Yeah, putting on a brave face.
Right. Agrimony helps them acknowledge those hidden emotions so they can find real joy, not just pretend to be happy.
That makes sense. Okay, let's move on to despair.
Okay.
That sounds pretty heavy.
Yeah, it can be. There's gorse, which is for when you feel totally hopeless.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, wow.
Like you've given up.
So it's like that feeling of complete defeat.
Yes. And gorse helps to bring back that spark of hope. It
Yep.
reminds you that even in the darkest times, things can get better.
That's a powerful image. What about sweet chestnut? What kind of despair does that address?
Sweet chestnut is for that really deep mental anguish.
Okay.
Like you're at your absolute limit.
Wow.
Imagine feeling like the weight of the world is crushing you.
That sounds intense.
It is. And sweet chestnut can bring a sense of peace and comfort.
Oh.
It helps you see that even when you're suffering, you have inner strength.
That's good. And finally, we have the overcare group.
Yes.
What are some of the key remedies in this one?
There's chicory for people who can be possessive in their caregiving.
Okay.
Their love comes with strings attached.
So they give love, but they expect something in return.
Exactly. And chicory helps them give love freely without needing to control things.
So it's about letting go and trusting others.
Yes. And then there's red chestnut.
Okay.
This one's for people who worry constantly about their loved ones.
Oh, yeah. They always think the worst is going to happen.
Exactly. Even when there's no reason to worry.
Like their love is mixed with fear.
Right. Red chestnut helps them find calm and trust.
Okay.
So they can love without being consumed by worry.
Wow, we've covered so much.
We have.
It's amazing how Dr. Bach created this whole system for all these different emotions.
And you know what's really amazing?
What?
It's been around for almost 100 years.
Yeah,
But it still feels relevant today.
that's true. These emotional challenges are timeless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We all deal with fear, uncertainty, loneliness, despair at some point in our lives.
Yeah, it's part being human.
And to have these gentle, natural remedies to help us through those tough times,
It's pretty amazing.
it's empowering.
Speaking of empowerment, you mentioned a special blend for when you need immediate help.
Oh, yeah. Rescue remedy. It's
Yeah.
like Dr. Bach's emergency kit for when you're feeling super stressed or panicked.
Okay, so what's in it?
It's a blend of 5 remedies,
Okay.
and each one targets a different aspect of stress.
Okay.
So you have Impatience for impatience.
Okay.
Star of Bethlehem for shock and trauma.
Wow.
Cherry plum for fear of losing control.
Okay.
Rock rose for terror and panic.
Okay.
And clematis for that spaced out feeling.
Sounds like a team of superheroes.
Exactly. Each one swooping in to save the day.
I like that.
Mm.
But how can just a few drops really make a difference in a crisis? I'm a little skeptical.
Well, think about what happens when you're stressed.
Okay.
Your body goes into fight or flight mode.
Right.
Your heart races. Your breathing gets shallow, and your mind just won't stop.
Yeah.
Rescue Remedy helps to calm all that down.
Okay.
It promotes relaxation both physically and emotionally.
So it doesn't make the problem disappear,
No.
but it helps you handle it better.
Exactly. And that can make a world of difference.
Like hitting the pause button on the stress.
Yes. You can take a breath and regain your composure.
And there's a rescue remedy cream too.
There is.
So you can actually put it on your skin.
It's incredible how versatile these remedies are.
It really is.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Bach flower remedies, what are the main things our listeners should remember?
I think the most important thing to remember is that Bach flower remedies offer a gentle and natural way to improve your well-being.
Okay.
And they do this by focusing on your emotional state.
They remind us that our emotions are a big part of our overall health.
Right.
And that we have the power to shift those emotions in a more positive direction.
So it's like we have this whole new toolkit for dealing with life's challenges.
Yeah.
And instead of wrenches and screwdrivers,
Right.
we have these beautiful flower essences.
And anyone can use them.
Yeah.
They're safe, gentle, and you can easily fit them into your life.
It really shows how forward-thinking Dr. Bach was,
He was.
recognizing that connection between our emotions and our physical health.
Absolutely. And his work is still so relevant today,
Yeah.
especially with this growing interest in holistic healing.
Right. People want to take control of their health.
They do, and Bach flower remedies give them a gentle and empowering way to do that.
So if our emotions play such a big role in our well-being, what are some small changes our listener can make today to feel better?
That's a great question. I think the first step is just becoming more aware of your emotions.
Okay.
What are you feeling? What patterns do you notice in how you react to things?
So pay attention to those subtle shifts.
Exactly.
Okay.
Once you start doing that, you can make choices about how you want to feel.
It's like choosing what you want to listen to on the radio,
Right. Do you want to tune into the station that's playing anxiety and fear?
or the one that's playing calm and joy.
Exactly. And Bach flower remedies can help you fine-tune that dial.
I like that. So for our listeners who are curious to learn more, where can they go?
There are so many great resources out there.
Okay.
You can find books, websites.
Mm-hmm.
There are even Bach flower practitioners who can give you personalized advice.
Okay, cool.
And you could even visit Dr. Bach's Garden and Research Center.
Oh, wow. Where's that?
It's in Oxfordshire, England.
Oh, wow.
Imagine walking through those gardens surrounded by the flowers that inspired these remedies.
That would be incredible.
It would be like stepping into Dr. Bach's world
Yeah.
and feeling the energy of his discoveries.
And remember, everyone, the journey to well-being, it never really ends.
It doesn't. We're
Yeah.
always learning, growing, changing.
Right.
And Bach flower remedies can be there with you every step of the way,
Yeah.
helping you navigate all those complex emotions.
It's a reminder that we have the power to change.
We do.
And even small shifts in how we feel can make a big difference.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Bach flower remedies, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
If there were a flower remedy that perfectly matched your current emotional state, what would it be? What would you call it? What qualities would it have?
That's a great question.
It encourages you to really look inside yourself with curiosity and compassion,
Yeah.
recognizing the power of your emotions and the potential for healing that's within you.
It's been amazing exploring this unique approach to wellness.
It has.
I hope you've learned something new today
Me too.
and are inspired to explore how Bach flower remedies can help you blossom into your fullest potential.
They do. And Bach flower remedies give them a gentle and empowering way to do that.
So if our emotions play such a big role in our well-being, what are some small changes our listener can make today to feel better?
That's a great question. I think the first step is just becoming more aware of your emotions. What are you feeling? What patterns do you notice in how you react to things?
So pay attention to those subtle shifts.
Exactly.
Huh?
Once you start doing that, you can make choices about how you want to feel.
It's like choosing what you want to listen to on the radio.
Right. Do you want to tune into the station that's playing anxiety and fear?
Or the one that's playing calm and joy.
Exactly. And Bach flower remedies can help you fine-tune that dial.
I like that. So for our listeners who are curious to learn more, where can they go?
There are so many great resources out there.
Okay.
You can find books, websites.
Mm-hmm.
There are even Bach flower practitioners who can give you personalized advice.
Okay, cool.
And you could even visit Dr. Bach's Garden and Research Center.
Oh, wow. Where's that?
It's in Oxfordshire, England. Imagine walking through those gardens surrounded by the flowers that inspired these remedies.
That would be incredible.
It would be like stepping into Dr. Bach's world and
Yeah.
feeling the energy of his discoveries.
Yeah, and remember the journey to well-being?
Yeah,
It never really ends.
it doesn't. We're always learning, growing, changing.
Right.
And Bach flower remedies can be there with you every step of the way,
Yeah.
helping you navigate all those complex emotions.
It's a reminder that we have the power to change.
We do.
And even small shifts in how we feel can make a big difference.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Bach flower remedies, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
If there were a flower remedy that perfectly matched your current emotional state, what would it be?
Oh,
What would you call it? What qualities would it have?
that's a great question. It really makes you think.
It encourages you to really look inside yourself
Yeah.
with curiosity and compassion,
Yeah.
recognizing the power of your emotions and the potential for healing that's within you.
Well, it's been a fascinating journey exploring this unique approach to